Welcome back to UKSG 2024, the red version, of course, because we are in January as we speak. Next one is coming up on the Dreamcast. Jason Eats Cake Illbleed. This could be a very interesting one. Spooky. Take it away.
How you doing? This is Illbleed. I'm going to preface this by saying this is a really weird game. And this is probably the worst way to experience it because you miss lots and lots of weird stuff. So I will be showing some of the weird stuff, but mostly explaining all of the stuff that's kind of going on, because otherwise you're just going to be very confused.
Yeah, makes no sense.
No, it makes no sense at all. But it's a very strange, very unique game that I learned how to speedrun very recently. We want to get started?
Yeah.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, go. So this is a survival horror game that has like really strange mechanics. It sort of works where it's like a horror house, but you have to stop yourself from getting jump scared by marking them with like a headset. And that doesn't make sense just now when I say it, but it will in a second.
Yeah, you'll notice at the top of the screen there's a couple of different senses, and that ties into when you can see the traps or sense the traps.
Yeah, so there's 3 senses at the top: sight, hearing, and smell. They will show you traps, like this one. This is one of the jump scares. It's unavoidable. Sixth sense will show you when there's items or fight encounters. Because unlike other survival horror games, the battles are sort of like, I guess, like RPG encounters, in that they take you to a new instance where you fight. So right there, I've just marked the trap so that I don't fall into it. And we're going to see a lot of that, but we're also going to see a lot of times where I just hug a wall or walk like this because I'm avoiding things. So this game, the traps are random, but they work in 3 set patterns: A, B, and C. We are currently in B.
B's the best.
B is Jonathan's favourite. I always call Jonathan Bleepy Bonathan because of it. So now I know exactly where all of the traps are and what I need to do to avoid them all. So I'm walking in a very particular way and marking very particular sections of the level just to avoid things like, you know, massive hands coming out and grabbing me. So you're going to see a lot of that throughout the run. Every level has its own sort of like story. It's like an anthology of horror kind of thing. I will explain what the story in this one is in a second, but first we're going to watch a little cutscene where we pick up this baseball bat.
Jimmy, it's time for practice. Get out to the training field now. Hey, you're not Jimmy. Jimmy.
It's so dramatic. And in case you're wondering, that doesn't ever feature again in the level, in the story, nothing. That's just that. Never happens again. So the story in this level is that there was a hotel run by a man called Gail Banbolo, who had a son called Jimmy, as you've heard there, who was a big kind of child baseball star that he loved very much. And one day, some teenagers accidentally set the place on fire. Jimmy didn't survive, but Gail Banbolo did. But he's horribly burned and angry, so he just kills people now. That's the story. That's it.
Cool.
We're avoiding a fight here. We're not really going to see much of the combat in this level because we tend to skip most of it by just walking in very particular places. So we're picking up a testimonial. The key to this level is to pick up items that remind Gail Banbolo of his son. So we're stealing his son's things, including his baseball bat, while we make our way throughout the hotel, just tagging things.
Cool.
There's a bunch of traps that are static, they never change, but there's a lot that are random, and I do have notes for every level except this one, because I've played this level so many times that I just know the patterns now. So some of the traps just have alternate animations, like the big hand we saw, that corpse falling into the pit, but not all of them do. but they're usually quite fun whenever you see them play. Picking up another thing, the trophy, and then we're gonna use a little skip here to go through the wall. The reason that we do that is there's a fight right at the top of the stairs that is really, really, really annoying. So we're gonna try and skip it. Speaking of fights and skipping them, we're hopefully gonna get a skip here. Nah, we didn't do it. That
Close.
jump's quite hard to do. So this is combat. We're basically just going to run away into this helipad, and a helicopter is going to take us out of the fight arena.
Yeah. How else would you escape?
How else would you escape, you know? We're kind of walking in the middle of all these rooms because there's a lot of things to avoid. There's a fight we just avoided there. I'm going to count these out. One, two, these like light bulbs on the side are like a guide for me, because for some reason, in this one light bulb, there's a fight. Because of course there is. Now this is Dummy Man. He's kind of annoying. He's actually a really hard enemy to fight. So we just avoid him as much as we can.
You also notice Jason didn't take damage there. He uses like a sidestep that gives you a lot of iframes on the animation.
Yeah.
You're going to see that a lot throughout the run for avoiding damage in combat.
You're going to see it very, very soon. It's basically impossible to do one of the next sections without abusing it, and that's like intended gameplay. That's not even just a speedrun thing. So we're going to hang this testimonial up. Obviously, this is where they used to practice their baseball. He's really angry. He's written lots of nice messages in red paint on the walls. We're going to stand here. We're going to just hit a baseball and make him think his son's back. And he's going to get really angry. Now you might notice in the top right that he has infinite health. That's because we can't actually kill him yet. We have to just run away.
Nice.
And then in this little room, there's the first of what I call maze sections, where you're basically going to get chased by whatever enemy is around. This sort of pathing that I'm going to take is consistent. What happens is there's like two sets of paths. And if you go down one, you're safe, and if you go down the other, he's going to appear and get you. But sometimes that path is like really awkward and slow, so we don't want to take it, so instead we just avoid him, like that. There's also a little bit of tech that I'll show off here, and hopefully we get it, but if I do this and go to the map screen, he will just not appear right here. He's supposed to come around that corner and come and chase you, but you can just like cheese it and make sure he doesn't do that. But unfortunately can't do that in the next part. So the story of Illbleed, I've not actually went into that yet. We're playing as Eriko Christie, who her friends have went to like this horror theme park that says if you can get through it, you can win $100 million. So they are all like, oh my god, let's go do it. And she's like, nah, that's not for me. That sounds lame. But a few days pass, our friends don't come back. So now she's like, oh, I gotta go save my friends. So that's what we're doing. And in this level, we're gonna save our friend Kevin. Hold on. So you might see Bamball on the right of us here. See? You can sort of predict it, but sometimes he just appears on the other side of the corridor and just like murks you. So you just want to pay attention. So now finally we get to attack this grieving, injured man with his son's bat. Oh damn! So you can sort of go next to his shoulder, and he will never hit you. Like he moves every time he does his little flamethrower attack. And you can cheese it in such a way that you just don't get hit, so you can just wail on his shoulder. It didn't really move though that time. A couple more hits. And then that's him dead. That's Bambolo gone. For good, I swear. And we're going to save Kevin. Now, I want you to remember us saving Kevin. For much later. I'm going to explain something much, much later about this whole scene. It's going to sound a bit mad, but we'll save it for later because, spoiler alert, Bambolo's not dead. In fact, he's massive now. What's this all about? So he's just going to try and attack me while I'm jumping across all these logs. We're going to sidestep to avoid any and all damage because it's impossible. How else are you supposed to do this? Gonna cut across here. Keep jumping. The issue with this whole part is there's quite noticeable input lag on like every button press. So you have to be like super early with any input you make. Otherwise you're gonna get absolutely destroyed by them. Oh, hold on. And if you jump, it takes ages before you can do a sidestep. So you want to just make sure you've got enough time. Otherwise you're going to get smacked about. Here we go. We're going to see the operator who is operating, because bear in mind this is a theme park, and it's very good at reminding you that. So we just batter him with the baseball bat, no big deal. Now he's dead. His head came off if you were very quick to notice that. And now Bandball stopped. That's it. Danger over. He's just going to sit there.
So you came to this theme park to find your pals, and you're going to beat up all the staff.
Yeah, we're going to beat up all the staff. I mean, they're killing people. Like, I think that's justified.
You get some really intense platforming as Jason makes his way towards the end of the level. Again, input lag very noticeable here. It can be hard, especially on these single logs, to land consistently. You don't die if you fall in the water, but the water does slow down Eriko's walk speed, so you want to try and stay on the logs as much as possible.
Yeah, there's like parts where you can walk across rather than jump, because jumping, as you may have noticed, is really, really slow. So running is always faster than jumping. So you want to always, when you can, walk onto logs, but sometimes it looks like you can, and you can. Ooh.
We have time for a couple donations?
Yes. Yeah, you do.
All right. We have $50 from Michael Reynolds. Good luck, Jason. We are a bit low on funds at the park after Eriko won, but we have a whip around for you. See you at the museum! Exclamation mark. Also, we have another €10 from Master Jack. Oh, whoa! A donation for the great run I did. Hope everyone else get a good run as me. Back to you.
Thank you. Michael Reynolds, to explain, is the character in the game who owns the park. Part of Eriko's backstory is that her dad had a horror caravan and scared her so much that she now just doesn't feel fear ever. And spoiler alert, Michael Reynolds turns out to be her dad in the end. But more on that later.
So we're coming into level 2 now, Revenge of Queen Worm. You'll notice here that Jason's going to change character to Kevin, who we saved in the last level.
Yeah, so this is a kind of recent, possible, like the last year or something. Wow, bad movement. Last year or something, where it turned out that Kevin was actually quite fast at a few things. Like, Eriko is like perfect character. Like, you don't really want to play as anybody but Eriko in this game. If you get caught by surprise by an enemy, she will stand right back up. Every other character will fall to the ground and crawl around and just get hit. It's terrible. It's awful. But Kevin can jump really quickly and has his dodge animations and animations with like ranged weapons, which we will see later on, is a lot faster than Eriko. So sometimes we play as Kevin. We're not happy about it. We don't like Kevin. Yep, that's fine. So yeah, the incentive for good ending got met. The difference between bad ending and good ending is that in bad ending, in the category you only save Kevin. Really. Yeah. But in good ending, you save all the friends. So we're going to save all the friends. Thanks for reminding. Jonathan will remind me, because chances are I'll forget.
That's why I'm here.
Basically, it adds just a couple of things into a few of the levels. But it's very, very easy to not save a friend in this one and just forget and just go to the end of the level. So definitely good shout on reminding me.
You'll also notice in this level, Jason's not using the horror monitor at all. This level does not feature the same kind of traps that the rest of the game features. Instead, you'll notice in these segments where there's no kind of concrete on the ground, you'll occasionally see worms burrowing through, and Jason's trying to move in very specific ways to either get around the worms or bait them into a certain movement so that you can get around them easier without trying to initiate combat.
So there was a little like demon monkey guy that took the horror monitor off of Kevin when he grabbed it. There's also a cutscene in this level when that happens afterwards, where he's just watching whatever character you play as naked. Just I don't know why it's there. It just is.
Illbleed, that's why.
Illbleed, yeah. So this is Revenge of the Queen Worm. The story of this level is that there was a man called David who accidentally dropped his. It's framed to be daughter, but it's very obvious it's not his daughter. But dropped her into a can of gasoline, and then she grew and made lots of massive worm babies, which they then seemingly sold for meat, which is disgusting. But then the meat prices went down, and now a company bought over the place and screwed him over. So the Queen Worm went mad and done all this. All this is because of the Queen Worm, seemingly for revenge. And we're gonna meet David. Also, we picked up a baby bottle. That's for the worm. That's the worm's baby bottle.
Of course.
Of course. David ran this shop. He's gonna shout at us, but we're gonna say no. You've got the baby bottle, and he's gonna be like, oh my god, it's the baby bottle, and then he lets us in, and then he talks to us through this painting. For some reason, and he tells us to specifically he tells us to burn Rachel, which is the name of the worm. The sort of reveal for that is like a bit later in the level, and everyone's just like, you should have known this. We all knew this. Who else could it be? There's some cracking posters like Goblin Moon, but there's one, I don't know if we'll see it. I don't know if it actually appears on the screen, but it's like a Godzilla ripoff. And there it is.
Yeah,
there.
Godla.
Godla. Godla with the subtitle, Size is Problem.
Of course.
So there's a sort of puzzle. We just skipped a cutscene with a corpse that just went, knock down dummy man, and that's your clue to what you need to do in this section of the level. Then you come in here, grab a spanner. There's a movie poster right in front of us for Dummy Man 3, The Returner. We're gonna knock it down because we've been told to knock down Dummy Man. And you know what? We'll just do what we're told. We won't question it. So I do have notes for this game because the nature of it, with it being like really random, or like just set patterns that you have to learn, that's quite difficult to do off the fly. Now there's stuff that I do know, just via playing it, but I can't remember absolutely everything. So I do have notes. I'm not superhuman when I go through the next levels and like just whiz past hopefully everything. So we're gonna get to another of survival horror's best attribute. Everybody loves survival horror for the platforming.
Yeah. I mean, it's why my favorite platformers are all Mario games. Great horror there. Great horror there.
So we are doing this platforming section because there's a big, massive amount of dirt in the middle, and that's where the boss of the level is. But we can't do any damage to it yet. So if we land on the dirt, we get sent into that battle, have to run away, and then we're sent right back to the start of the platforming section. And I'll do like a bit of platforming, guys, but I don't want to do this again.
Yeah, so Jason, take this quite carefully because this is quite a bad spot for resets. If you fall in, it wastes a lot of time.
But we're good, we made it. So now we're going to pair the flamethrower with the gas, and then we're going to fight the Queen Worm. So you can see her burrowing. She's going to come out. She's massive. We're going to just do this. We're going to try and get a wee bit of distance because you can bait this attack, which means you can get a lot more time to set her on fire. Okay, we failed, but it's fine. She's now teleported across the map, which is very helpful. Right, wee bit of distance.
Well, this fight can get a bit long and drawn out. Sometimes Green Worm doesn't want to play ball.
Yeah.
She'll either move away from Kevin a lot or just, as we've seen before, teleport halfway across the arena and take a while.
I think there's like a trigger where like if you get a wee, like enough distance, she'll do this attack, which then lets you do a counter hit. So you get way more damage. I might have screwed it. Oh no, I didn't. Good. And she's dead.
There we go.
Nice. Now we're doing good ending. This is where it matters.
Yes.
But we're gonna watch this cutscene of Rachel and David reuniting.
Get your tissues ready. It's a touching moment.
Rachel! I miss you so. You appear to be okay. Oh, that's a relief. At last, we can be together forever. Let's go back to hell. Hey, you, young one. Thank you.
It was mainly for the Let's Go Back to Hell and the worm crying out Papa, as you do. Like I said at the start, this game's really, really, really weird. So we've now got the gas tank. That's how we exit the level. We go to that car and actually just drive out of the level. But before we do that, we need to save our friend, who is in this garage over here, being attacked by some demon monkeys, who we're just going to set on fire.
There's a garage, because I just saw that say car hospital.
Did it say car hospital?
Never noticed that.
Well, that's what I'm calling it from now on.
David's car hospital.
Oh god, the car. We need to take it to the car hospital. My partner's like, what? What are you talking about? Cool, so we saved Michelle, that's one of our other friends, and then we're going to escape the level.
You will never see Michelle.
No, never. Never. The only, thing that Michelle has above anyone else is she has more adrenaline, which, by the way, we've not actually went into any of those, any of the health bar kind of things. So, you'll notice that there's lots on the UI here. There's a health bar at the bottom, which is your hit points. That makes sense. We're just coming in here, by the way, to buy some items for the next level. I need more than that. Actually, I wasn't quick enough for the button. Oh no. Oh, I'm so slow because I'm forgetting this good ending. I need to grab a couple of these. It's fine. So that is like hit points. This thing on the right is your heart rate. If that goes too low, or if it goes too high, you die. The adrenaline is on the left, that's the brain. That is what you need to mark traps using the horror monitor. If that runs out, you can't mark traps, you'll run into all the traps and it'll be a really sad time. And there's another health bar that we've actually not seen. Well, no, we did. We got hit once. So there was a bleeding bar that we saw for like a minute, which we will probably see in this level because this level's hard. Wood puppets. So I've got notes for like judging what pattern this is. Like I said earlier, Jonathan really likes pattern B. So Jonathan's always hoping for pattern B.
Yeah. To be fair, B's pretty good at the. Oh.
Oh, I ran into this trap. Okay, that's fine. So that's what happens when you accidentally run into a trap. You just take
usually
a bunch of damage.
run through the middle of there and can avoid most of the traps, but sometimes you can
I think
flip the hitbox.
that's possibly like the second time I've ever hit a trap. Now, based on that sight that's going off, I think it's C. Yeah, it's C. Means this is a trap. Yep, definitely C. And here's a nice song for you.
Ho ho, going to cut the tree, going to cut the tree, and I got to cut the tree 'cause I love to cut the tree. Yo ho ho, and I'm out of control. I'm gonna cut the tree.
Why is it there? I don't know. So the plot to Wood Puppets is there was a guy who worked in a lumber mill. He had a really big chainsaw that he wanted to test out on this really, really big tree. But when he went to do it, the tree just grew a face and ate him, as you do.
I've heard it happen.
It does, yeah. So what then happened was workers started like dying and being turned into what they called wood puppets, which are like wee kind of like big human-sized wooden doll things. They're sort of used, I guess, in art, kind of like modeling and things like that. It's basically them. And I don't really know if we're supposed to investigate it or stop it, but basically we're gonna just can't even. I'm still concentrating. We're basically gonna just kill a big tree. That's what's gonna happen. So I'm skipping a bunch of cutscenes here, where we basically see that our pal Randy, who is modelled like Brock from Pokemon, for some reason. He has become a wood puppet, but he's kind of acting strange. He's not acting like Randy, and that's because they've taken his brain out. So we're going to rescue Randy, but we're not going to pick up his brain because it's slow, and you can still get good ending without doing it. So it's going to be weird. We're not going to play as him, but we'll see him. Now I'm just going to touch this guy's wood. As you do. And he's going to be really angry that I did that, so he's actually going to fight me. So this is like the first proper like fight that we'll see with like a regular enemy. This game's really, really strange in that enemies can have 0 health, but they won't actually die. You basically have to get like the enemy to stagger for them to die. You can hit them forever and ever, and if they don't stagger, they just won't actually die. So, you can now see the red bar at the bottom. That's my bleeding gauge. If it hits a certain threshold, it will start to raise whenever I run, which is what it's doing right now. So I need to heal that, but it's a bit slow to just do it now. We are about to use a key item, so it's actually just a bit quicker just to use it then. In fact, I say that, but we're going to get in a fight. So, Wood Puppets Pattern C has a fight at the base of these stairs that is in no other pattern. With some wood puppets, actually, so we can get a wee look at them. There they are.
Terrifying stuff. Well, they are genuinely terrifying. You'll see here they spin around rapidly and they can cause a lot of damage if you get locked between the two of them.
Yeah, we're just gonna spam that escape button. You might also notice this wee kind of marker above the bleeding gauge. If it reaches that, my hitbox increases, so things can hit me easier, which is, you know, very, very, very fun. So we're going to put the piece of wood in here. We're going to put in the code. And then, for some reason, because it's the most logical thing to do, we're going to jump into this machine and turn into a wood puppet.
Makes perfect sense.
As you do. So now we're a wood puppet. We can't jump, we can't run very fast, but we can do those attacks that those wood puppets were doing to us, which is quite nice. The issue is, we're kind of slow, and whenever anything hits us, we kind of get stun locked for like half a second, and for good ending, that's quite bad, actually, just because we're going to have to fight 2 really fast enemies in order to save Randy. It's going to be a nightmare.
It's probably one of the worst fights in the game, and it does only come up on good ending.
Yeah, we completely skip it on bad ending. And true ending, which is the 3rd category that I don't think you'll ever see in a marathon setting, to be honest.
True ending is something very, very strange.
Yeah. So we're now entering the 2nd maze section, which is the woodman hunting section of the level. Basically, they've got these woodcutter guys that we fought one of them already. They have like a game where they hunt wood puppets. So we're a wood puppet. We're gonna get hunted. That's really it.
Yeah.
But we're going to see a big bit of tech here. It says tech, I think it's a glitch or something that the game's trying to do. But if there's an enemy on the screen chasing after you, if you go onto the map screen, it stops their AI for like 2 seconds after you come out of it, which means that you can, if you're good enough at it, you can completely avoid fights in this area. And we want to avoid all the fights in this area. Because we can't jump, so we can't call for help off the helipad. So what we're going to do? We have to fight them, which you can do. It's not difficult, but it's annoying and it's slow.
You'll see Jace using the map screen quite a lot from here on out. He's also switched his camera to be a further out view. It means that you can see the woodcutter coming behind him a bit earlier, and get that pause in to get the lead back ahead of him, because the woodcutter does run considerably faster than
Yeah.
Erica when she's a wood puppet.
They're really, really fast. Sometimes they stop and walk to correct themselves, which is nice, but then they just go full speed immediately again, so you don't get a lot of time. But sometimes you get times like this where they get stuck on something, and you can just run for ages, which is quite nice.
Yeah, there's certain points, and it's hard to do. So it's not really a strategy more than just dumb luck, but if you do get it, it saves a considerable amount of time to not having to consistently pause throughout the
Yeah.
segment.
So they can't come into this corridor after that tree that we passed. So what we're going to do, we can't get past the tree either because we want to go up the stairs. So we're going to get some bugs that eat wood. We are encased in wood. We're picking up bugs that eat wood. I don't know how we carry them without them eating through us, but we do. So we'll take it all the way back up to the tree.
Must just be picky eaters.
Must be. If you've got any donations, this would be a good time, I would say.
We currently don't have any donations, but we do have some donation incentives and some bid wars going on for this event. We are currently having $377 for the upcoming 500, and that's for Sonic 1 Forever. So if we met that goal of $500, we only need a few dollars. Then the rounded Knuckles and Tails enable flight assist to make the run even faster. So yeah, get your donations in. Back to you.
So this is like the kind of break area for the maze section. There's a second one coming up. I'm gonna very quickly make a safety save before this because this fight can be a bit scary, and I don't have a safety save for it. So I'm just gonna very quickly. There we go. Just in case. I don't think it will go wrong, but you never know.
Yeah.
Would rather be safe.
As Jason mentioned earlier, the enemies we're about to come up on are incredibly fast. We are slow. It can go south very quickly.
Yeah. Thankfully, they can hit each other. Friendly fire is on, but it's still really, really awkward, and we might lose a lot of health during it. See? There's 3 man here. Kind of took his time, actually.
Yeah, he's usually a bit earlier than that.
Sometimes this guy can like fall off the edge of that floor there, which is quite nice.
Yeah.
He did not this time though. He's right behind me. Oh. I'm gonna do a nice wee, yeah, definitely now. I think they might run a bit faster on the stairs, so I always just do a wee safety one up there anyway. So in good ending, we're gonna take the right over here. We don't do that on bad ending because this is where we will save Randy. So this is where the tense fight is for this level. We've got a couple of crash test dummies pretending they're doctors on our good friend. So we're gonna try and attack them and kill them.
Here, Jason using an attack that kind of uses Erico's front right leg as a propeller blade. Don't worry too much about the physics of that.
Would you stop running in circles, please?
It's, yeah. They're usually not this hard to hit.
Oh my god. Oh, I'm trying to do the helicopter move, but for some reason she then just does like the monkey. I don't know what that's about. Okay, this went okay, to be honest.
That was actually quite quick.
It was alright. It was slow, but it wasn't a lot of damage, which is nice. So then we're gonna pick up Randy, who's he's brainless. He's having a bad time.
Jason using some gauze there to bring his bleeding meter back down so that he doesn't have to worry about running for the rest of this segment. And we're going to be going back to the kind of chase segment with the woodcutter again.
Yeah, so because we did that, we've now despawned the guy who was chasing us, which now means that there's a guy in front of us who's going to spawn. If you have the guy like behind you, close enough, he'll just stay at you so that you don't accidentally despawn him. I don't think I can. The hitbox is really weird here.
Yes.
Oh, he's definitely going to get me there. Right, hold on.
Okay, there we go.
Okay. Nice, there we go.
Yeah, some corridors can be a bit scary. They, as Jason said, the hitboxes are bigger than you'd expect. And again, it's one of the reasons why he wants to keep his bleeding down, because bleeding does increase your hitbox when it
Yeah.
hits a certain threshold.
And it's just so much easier to run into traps that way as well. It's just annoying. So now we're at the final part of the maze. We're not in the maze now, but there's some really angry woodcutters who just hang out in lockers. They sound like elephants for some reason. Don't know why. They're not happy. We just want to kill them. I'm really trying to like stagger while they're in the middle of an attack, but sometimes they don't actually do it. Yep, come on. There we go.
But you can't actually avoid the fights in this segment, unfortunately, so we do just need to take them and hope we get through them as quickly as we
Yeah.
can.
You can see that my bleeding is like increasing every time I run. I'm not going to fix it because we have a couple more fights to do before we're done. Oh. Okay, it was a bit too early. A bit eager on that one. Oh my god. He's dead. And I think we have one more to fight.
Yeah, depending on the pattern here, you'll either get 2 or 3 fights.
Oh, it's only 2. Nice. That's good. I'll heal now then.
It's pattern A that's 3 fights then.
Yeah, because it was B, I think, that only had 2 as well. Okay, so we're going to go to this machine, which destroys wood. We're just going to walk in it, and it destroys the wood. And now we're Eriko again.
There we go.
Makes sense.
Now, if you remember earlier, Jason did say that the villain for this level is a giant tree with a face.
Yeah. So, I'll show a little bit of this cutscene. There's workers working on it because the boss is actually broken and isn't actually activating. But then, for some reason, it does, and now we are going to attack a big tree.
This boss has 2 attacks. It has this sweep, and it vomits. We're hoping mostly for sweeps, because for sweeps you can get 3 attacks afterwards. Vomit, you only get 2.
Yeah, and the third strike on the axe does more damage than the other 2 strikes. Oh,
It's been a bit nasty.
man, I've definitely had iframes for that. Oh, it's not playing ball. What is this? Do it again. Okay. Wow. Okay. Oh, didn't get the third strike. Not that time.
Okay, now he's getting on board with what we want.
Oof. It's fine. We're right at the end of the level now. Oh, I shouldn't have done it.
So close.
Need to wait. I need to wait for him to attack first. I need to get him as part of like a trade. There we go.
And there we go.
Really slow, jeez. But that's fine. We're right at the end of the level now. Just a long walk. Which, by the way, if you're playing this casually and you don't know like how to dodge and things like that, this is really, really dangerous because you'll just bleed out and die before you get to the end of the level, and you'll be really, really angry.
Yeah.
It's happened to me before. It's not fun. And I should mention, if you stand still for long enough, your bleeding will go down, but it's very, very slow. So you'd rather just not be bleeding.
Time for a couple donations.
Sure.
All right, we have $10 from Crash. I believe Jason did it. He's the killer. Also, let's try to even up the bad ending for Silent Hill. So that's another $10 for the bad plus ending. And another $10 from Howling Mad Mike, donating towards the Silent Hill bad ending incentive because it's longer. We had a schedule, and because Mies really seems to prefer doing the quicker UFO ending, Kappa. So that's another €10 for the bad plus ending, and that's now a total of $25 for the bad plus ending, and we have now on the lead $80 for the UFO ending. So as of now, we're gonna see aliens, but if you want to see the bad plus ending, yeah, you need to pay up. Back to you.
Thank you very much. So this is Killer Department Store. This takes place in a Killer Department Store. The story's really weird with this one. There was a guy who was obsessed with money. We're gonna pick up the severed head. Don't worry about it. Obsessed with money, and his department store was failing, so he decided to make traps in his store that takes money off of people and kills them. And then he died because the police got him. We're on pattern A. He died and then came back to life as like a big spider for some reason. This doesn't really make a lot of sense.
You'll notice that a lot in Illbleed. Not a lot makes it.
Yeah, and it is only going to get weirder, I swear. So we're just tagging traps. We are going to avoid a fight over here. We're going to... This wee guy on the right here isn't in my notes, but he's done me in a couple of times now. So now I know his tricks. I know he's coming. This place is full of traps. I think this and this.
Yeah, this is one of the few times in the run you'll see the adrenaline meter so low, but you will notice quite a lot on this level. When you do correctly identify a trap, Eriko does get adrenaline back. Down the bottom left, you'll see as she approaches those blue orbs, she pops down. She's avoided a trap, it increases her adrenaline back up.
Yeah, so it's good if you are marking the right things. But if you're in like a casual run, you might not do that, and you might end up running out. You could buy items at the shop that do that. I think actually I was going to for this marathon, for this level, but I think we're actually going to be alright. Because it was like this section that really got me before. So we should be okay. Anyway, we picked up a severed head, and that's because there's a cake from hell over here that does a cooking show, and he wants a topper for his head. Now you could pick up a strawberry and something else, but he wants a severed head. So we're going to give him it. Oh, I didn't think that would skip the full cutscene, but it did. He gets very happy that we gave him a severed head.
Hellcake's a good friend.
Yeah, Hellcake's great. We're taking him because he's a full heal. I mean, I typically wouldn't do that in a run, but why not? So I'm going to pick up chicken. 5 chickens. So that I can... well, you'll see. You'll see. There's a couple of traps to mark here. B is probably like the good one because... what's A? So it's not even B. It's... I don't even need that. I was about to run into it. I'm actually surprised I didn't. So B would be the back 2. A is the ones on the left, and then C is the ones on the right. Yep. This wee guy over here is always a trap. There we go. So I'm going to turn left, and this is why I picked up so many chickens, is because, well, I need to feed these cockroaches. These giant cockroaches that are just chilling out in the department store, as you do. These guys can, if you don't feed them meat, they will kill you. Well, not kill you, they'll hit you. And we're going to see that now because we don't have enough chicken to feed him. So he's going to get really angry. And it's random how many pieces of meat it takes to get rid of them without being attacked. It could be 1, oops, it could be 2, it could be 3. I think it's like up to 5 possibly that it could be. Forgot what I was doing for a second there. But we need at least one piece of meat because we can't get past this next section without one because this guy over on the right here makes us kill the chicken. So if we don't have any, he tells us to go get some meat. So it just saves time to just pick it up.
This room as well, if you pick up more chicken than you need for the cockroaches, you get an extra chicken enemy you've got to fight.
Yeah, so ideally you want to just leave it at 1, but it's really hard. It's really hard to get that. Now, I'm running on this wall here because there's actually random encounters with the worms that we didn't get to fight in level 2. But you're gonna see them. You're gonna see them, don't you worry. Up here.
Also notice this is the fresh fruit section of the department store.
I mean, to be fair, it's probably been sitting for a good while. Like, all the fresh stuff, probably not been fresh for a very long time. But we're about to get to the scariest part of the run. It's a really hard fight. It's not even a boss fight. It's like a mini boss fight. You have to do it, and it's really difficult and can end your run if you're not careful.
Oh yeah.
So in this big room, right at the door at the other end is a fight. We're going to mark it so that we get some adrenaline back from it and also don't get a big fright when it happens. We get an unskippable cutscene where we have to watch 3 worms appear on screen. We have to kill all 3, and it's not easy.
But Jason's going to be hoping to not take too much damage in this section and to try and get as many counter hits on these worms as possible to get rid of them quickly. You can get lucky, and sometimes they'll group up.
Yeah, they tend to like cover for each other. Like that, one will come up, and you'll be starting to attack it, and then its pal will come up like this.
Yeah.
That wee guy on the left there. Do you see him?
So unfortunately, while there's 3, it's a lot of this is very rough until we can at least get one of the worms down. And
Oh my god.
I guess a bit easy.
I don't know what's happening with the iframe stuff, because it's definitely not giving as many as it should. This is also like the best weapon in the game, which is good because these guys have a lot of health. Oh nice, I got the counter hit. Is he dead? No. Of course he's not. So we might have a bad one. I do have a safety save for like if this really goes wrong, which it looks like it might. Oh my god.
Yeah, sometimes the worms just don't want to play ball at all and can just kind of stun lock Erica and not give you a
I think
chance.
one's dead. Yeah, one's dead. So now Eriko is she's like stumbling a bit because of her health. Also, something I've not mentioned is you cannot heal in battles. If you try and get to like the menu with all the items, it just gives you like a pause screen. Man, this is going really rough.
Yeah, they are not playing well today.
I'm just doing this to try and avoid any and all damage I can. I think that's another one
That's
down.
another one down.
I don't have long because you might notice that my health is now draining because of the bleeding. Good, they're all dead.
There we
Right,
go.
I need this to hurry up. I am losing a lot. Look at the health bar.
That's rough. That's rough.
Right, hell cake, thank you. Now we're good. Although I don't have any more bleeding stuff, but we shouldn't need any. Everything else should be smooth. We will get in another fight where I might lose a lot of blood, but we do get a healing item straight after it, so it's not so bad. So we're now entering the toy section, which you need $200,000 to get into. The game gives you prize money after every level, but in this level it gives you the money before the level starts, and it's literally because of this. But if you for some reason lose money, because the traps in this level, just lore wise, just take money off of you. So if you don't have enough, there's a couple of secret rooms where you can get more money. We don't ever look at them because we just don't need to. Just tagging all these traps. So this game did not come out in the UK. It only really came out in Japan and North America, although there's like a Taiwan version and a Russian version that's bootlegged, I think. But there's not any real differences. A couple of things, but they're minor. Very, very minor.
Yeah, there's a couple of codes you input in the game, and 1 or 2 of them are different across the versions, but some aren't. It's not quite clear as to why not all the codes are changed.
Well, there's like different types of puzzles. Like the third one has like a Japanese pun as like a puzzle, but they couldn't put that in this version, so it's changed. Anyway, I kind of want to show you like there's like a woman's arse on the right here. We're gonna see. We're not gonna see it, but that character on the right is gonna be a bit more involved in the plot later on. As is the guy with the gun that we just tagged there. So we're now in Cutie Marie's maze, or Cutie Mary, who is like a Chucky doll, basically, like a female Chucky doll. She wants to kill us. We need to get 4 cards in the maze and take it to the top of the room to get through it. Well, she chases us. However, her AI is a little bit easy to manipulate. She's on the right. You can see Eriko kind of looking over. We're going to despawn her and run up this corridor. Now she's going to spawn in front of us, and you'll see her in just a second. There she is. Now I'm going to do this because I'm not convinced that she wasn't going to run right into me. But she cannot come around the corners of these like card box things. So we're going to just like manipulate her a little bit so that we can just run past her. Because if we run into her, it starts a fight with her that we cannot escape from. Oh god.
You'll notice Jason doing the map pause buffering again to
So-
stop her AI from chasing you.
Yeah, but you might notice that I pulled the horror monitor out first, and that's because if you hold in the triggers while, or a trigger, sorry, when you're going to one of these menus, it brings it out faster. So the wee page turning animation is faster if you hold down the trigger. So sometimes I'm pressing the map button and then holding the trigger immediately, but maybe the map button didn't actually input, so I'm just pulling out the horror monitor for no reason. So that's all that is. So we managed to avoid fighting her at all in here, which is really, really good considering we don't have any more bleeding heals. Because she has a big knife that she likes to stab people with. We're going to run past here, we're going to go and put these cards in the door, and we're going to start our second game. She has 3 games that she wants to play with us. Hide and seek being the first, I guess. No, hide and seek being the second.
Yep.
Tag, I guess, is the first one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh. Last one in. If only there was a way to put them all in at the one time, because it's so slow. So in we go. She's going to play hide and seek. She can be in one of 3 things. It depends on the pattern you're in. And this pattern, she's in the keyboard. If you go to any other thing, it will be a jump scare. So don't bother. So we're now just going to stab her with this. She starts crying. Then she gets really, really evil. And then we're going to try get behind her so that we can try and hit her before she starts stabbing. She's not gonna. It's fine. Oof. She does lots and lots and lots of damage.
Marie can be quite a scary fight if it goes wrong. But
Yeah, but she's fine. She's gone.
luckily
That's
that
it.
went.
It's done. So she's not happy that we won, but she's going to go, right, okay, 3rd game time now. And we're going to pick up the Amazon potion. The Jeff Bezos potion heals everything. Gives us full adrenaline, gives us full health, reduces the bleeding. It's the best thing ever right after fighting Marie. So we're all back to normal, and we're going to play a little bit of jump rope.
Time for a quick donation.
Sure.
All right. So we have $50 from Chronicle. Hope Jason and Jonathan is doing well and staying hydrated. And well done on killing the prototype Bed of Chaos, though. Back to you.
Thanks, man.
So this is quite hard because it gets really fast, and we have input lag on our jump. Also, shout out to Illbleed for changing the jump button, because the jump button typically is X, but for this one specific section it's A, so it can catch you off guard if you don't know it's coming.
Also notice there, the last swing comes in incredibly slow, and
Yeah.
that can catch you out.
It baits you. It gets faster and faster and faster until the last one, and where it slows right down and, you know, hopes that you don't notice and get caught in it. So we're in the boss room, but actually it turns out it's not a boss. He's got infinite health. We can't kill him. So in fact, what we're going to do is we're just going to jump up the stairs. Oh, the stairs made of money. Completely bypass him. Where there's a worker who's on the phone with his partner. So we're just going to take the controls for the boss and go back down. Down these stairs. So the boss is now motionless. But Eriko realizes, oh, actually, I can control him. So now we're just going to jump into a wall a few times until he dies. And that's how you beat the boss in this level.
I mean, to be fair, the game did kind of have to give it to you after how brutal
Yeah.
the Worms and Marie back to back are.
They're really hard fights, so it is like the game throwing you a bone of, well, here's a fake boss. It's not actually the boss. Have fun. So there was a donation earlier, I think it was Crash, that said Jason is the killer. That is in reference to this level coming up. This level's called Killer Man. It's based on like a murder mystery whodunit kind of thing, where there's an old serial killer called Killer Man who appears, in the park and starts killing people, and they're trying to figure out who it is. And one of the characters that's in the level is called Jason, and he does get accused ridiculously. I'll show that cutscene because it's insane. So to Killer Man.
Talking about uses great logic. Perfect sense. Jason is the killer.
Let's go.
So we're playing Kevin again, and this makes use of a couple of quick animations he can do with dodging and firing a gun, and it's going to let us basically beat the boss of the level a bit easier. It won't take as long. With Eriko, it's a nightmare. It's really difficult, but with Kevin, it's dead easy. So we found a dead body. This is a really story-heavy level, as is the next one, so there might be a good bit of chat for a while here. So there's been a dead body. He's got the mark of the Killer Man, which is a crimson star on his face. And we are like, oh, what's this all about? Let's go find a person to speak to about it. So we're going to run behind the scenes in Illbleed, in the park, and see what's up. There's a lot. And I mean a lot of running about in this, so there will be chances for donations if they're coming in later on in the level. But first, we're going to go through this room, which has all the costumes. So it has a bunch of enemies that you fight throughout the game. You can pick up an axe on that woodcutter, but we don't need it. We don't care. Here's Jason. He's like, wow, there's a Killer Man costume missing. What the hell? So we'll go into the main bit where we have two characters, Jorg on the left and Cunningham on the right.
Excuse me.
These are part of the people. These are people as part of the mystery.
In the monitor room. I was told.
I'll just skip this now. Jorg is like a journalist who's like doing a report on Illbleed. Cunningham is a really strange worker. He's really dodgy.
Yeah, he's got lifeless eyes.
He
Cold,
does.
lifeless eyes.
Super like, looks like a zombie. It's weird. So we're gonna enter this room, which is where we figure out the pattern. It's not pattern B. It's pattern C.
All right.
So now I know exactly where the traps are. So there's a trap in this bloodstain over here.
A lot of this room can be quite a pain to get through. A lot of the traps we want to get past are very particular directions. Jason's going to kite around the room, and you'll see him kind of taking what looks like erratic pathing, but it's to try and get around as many paths, traps as possible without having to tag too much.
Yeah, this room's a nightmare. Typically you can like not buy items for this room or this level, but it's really this room and then maybe a bit of the next room that like can completely mess you up if you don't. First left you over here's a trap, so I need to hug this right wall. Cool, all good. Now there's a fight with Marie right here from the last level. Because now they just love putting her in all the levels, but we can just ignore her. She ignores us. It's fine. We'll just move on, you know.
Luckily, Marie's very slow to start a fight with, so it's not too much of an issue.
Basically, you have to hit her to start her up in like the angry frenzy mode, so it's fine. We don't have to bother with her. And I'm taking like very particular routes here to avoid traps on every side, which it's not a lot, but sometimes they can just randomly get you if you're not paying too much attention, or you just veer off into the wrong side. So we've just picked up a shotgun, which is the apart from the flamethrower, it's like the first gun that we've gotten, I think. We're going to use it literally only in the last fight, because hopefully we're going to avoid every other battle, bar one. We've got a lot of running about to do now. If there's any donations, this would be a good time.
Yeah, sure thing. We have a $5 from Kevin. What do you mean I'm the worst?
Kevin, you're the worst.
You won't bear Killer Man without me! Exclamation mark.
Well, it's funny you say that. So, part of this whole murder mystery thing is Jorg becomes a character that we can save. He's actually, you need to save him for the good ending, so we will be rescuing Jorg at the end of this level. But you actually can't solve the murder mystery without Jorg. The character you're playing as is too dumb to figure it out without Jorg, so You actually do need them, but we're not going to save them in the level. We're going to save them afterwards, so we're never going to know who the Killer Man is, unfortunately.
Luckily, the game does let you save friends out with levels by buying them, kind of bring them back to life, but it does require a large amount of money, which is why we do try to save as many as possible within the levels. York is the exception in the run.
It's like $375,000, I think, to do it. But the other reason really is saving York is unbelievably slow. It's really, really slow. And I won't really show you what I mean because it'll actually take a bit of time to show you how slow it is. But it's just far quicker to just get on with the level and buy him afterwards. You'll have enough money.
Yeah, I mean, you'll notice, luckily, most of the friends that we've saved so far maybe involved a bit of an extra fight, a little bit of a different path you follow through the level, but
Yeah.
Yorg's a whole other story.
So we just went to see York to see what he was up to, and he's like, yeah, you're right, someone did get killed. This is weird. Is this the right code? For a second, I doubted myself. That was really strange. Anyway, so we go back to the main room, and it turns out Cunningham's dead. He's lying on the floor. He's dead.
He looks so shady.
What happened to Cunningham? I guess he can't be the murderer if he's dead. So now we have to... Actually, do you know, see lore-wise, I actually don't know what we're doing now. I can't remember what the whole reason we're doing this is. Like, it's for cutscenes and, like, plot, but I actually don't know why we're going this way. I can't remember.
Been a while since either of us have actually
Watched all of the cutscenes.
watched all the cutscenes, and as you've seen, there's not a lot of context as you play through the game without them.
Yeah, that's what I was saying at the start. Like, this could be like the worst way to really experience this game. Like, after the marathon's done, I would recommend like either like watching a full playthrough or something just to see all the mad stuff, because we are like skipping through like a lot of mad stuff.
There's a lot of fun cutscenes, a lot of strange cutscenes. It's a unique game.
The next level, especially, it like tops the weird stuff. It's so strange, and I'm going to be talking a lot about what's kind of going on through the next level that you just aren't able to see. And I don't think you'll believe half of it, to be honest.
It doesn't sound real.
Right. So this wee gap in between these machines, for some reason, is a trap. Don't know how you're meant to know that.
All right.
I'm going to let you watch this cutscene coming up here.
That's the Killer Man. Look at the way he jumped. You know, I remember reading that Jason used to be a professional gymnast. So it makes sense that he could pull off these Killer Man stunts.
Does it?
So does that make Jason the murderer? No, it's not right to jump to conclusions.
Well, I don't think Jason can, or any gymnast can jump like 60 feet in the air like that.
Does sound to me like Jason is deflecting.
Listen, I've got no stake in this. So, a lot more running. There's so much more running to go in this level. This level is like really, really big, but it's mostly just running about.
Yeah, not a whole lot happens. Unfortunately, this is one of the longer levels, and it does just...
It drags a bit. There's not even that many... Throughout the run, I've been like moving very methodically to avoid a bunch of traps, but most of the time in this level, I'm actually just walking. Like, there's no strategy in it at all.
Yeah.
So anyway, Jason has found an empty Killer Man costume that, in his words, reeks of Cunningham sweat. And then another Killer Man appears and shoots him with a handgun, causing Yorg to say, "Did you see that special move?" Like, as if he did something, you know, like fired a laser or something like he did earlier. Yorg's strange in this game. I should mention that Yorg is like a real person. He's like I don't know if he's still a journalist. He was a journalist at the time when the game was coming out, and the creator just put him in the game because he liked him so much, I guess. But he like makes games and stuff now. He made a game called The Last Worker a couple of years ago. I've sadly not played it, but I hear very good things. Anyway, we're about to go back into the central hub area, where it turns out Cunningham's no longer there. Strange. Now the game's going to be like, who's the killer? and I'm just going to say Yorg, 'cause
Yeah,
it
I
doesn't
mean,
matter.
York was trying to blame other people, so
Yeah, just
must have been him.
must have been Yorg. If you want to know, the real killer, Killer Man, it turns out, is Killer Man.
Just seen it.
You would never have seen it coming. Like the reason is like the souls of all the dead people in the park. By the way, they are under us. We're in a big morgue now. Sort of haunted one of the suits to get revenge on the park workers. So that's what's happening with Killer Man. So later on we'll kill Killer Man and the souls will go away. And if you've got York, he figures it out, and then you get $1 million, and it's great. But we're not going to figure it out, so it doesn't matter too much.
So this is probably the smelliest room in the whole run. As Jason said, this is the morgue, and that texture you can see down below us, it's kind of red and black, is the bodies of everyone that's died in the park so far.
Yeah, we will go on that lower level in a bit, so you kind of get a better view of that.
As you can see, Illbleed does carry a significant body count.
How is it allowed to run? Like, that's what I don't understand.
Yeah, I don't think it's HSE certified. There's no health and safety in the park at all.
Absolutely not. So we're about to run into a fight over here. You can see a minecart on the left there. We're going to fight some zombies, except we're not going to fight. We're going to run away because they're literally invincible. You can't kill them. And then a cutscene's going to play. I'm going to actually watch this cutscene because it's quite short.
What was that? I don't think those were costumes. Those creeps were real. Hey!
And that's Yorg away.
Bye-bye, York.
So you can now do two things. You can go and you can save Yorg, or you can just finish the level. And we're taking the finish the level route because it's so slow.
Yeah, it's already taken us long enough. As you can tell, this morgue section does drag out a bit. It is just a lot of running, no traps. One or two of the patterns have traps near the kind of start of the section, but they're either very easily avoided or you just tag it and you're done.
Yeah, they're dead
And then
easy.
the rest of the segment is just running.
Yeah, this is the only pattern with no traps in the morgue, which is fantastic, to be honest. But it still is just a drag because it is just running for ages. One thing I guess I'll note here is this section, this room has one of the differences between Japanese and the American version. You can hear some music in the background here. The Japanese version does not have any music in this room, and only this room. So all you get is the sound of Kevin's heartbeat, footsteps, and the occasional sixth sense going off when there's an item nearby.
Yeah, it changes the vibe of the room a bit.
It does make it a wee bit more unnerving, to be honest, especially when you're like, if you're casually playing it, you're just sort of running, not knowing where the traps are. You'll easily run into one, and that'll wake you up.
And you don't get a good feel for the size of this in the speed run. Jason's not bringing the map up or anything like that, but this area is huge. You
Yeah.
can see all these paths going off in various different directions. On a casual playthrough, it is a nightmare trying to figure out where you're supposed to be going.
It's even longer in a casual, because you would go down that wee bit we just ran past, and that takes you to the part where you can go and save York, and it's even longer than that. Whereas you can just walk past here and it's dead quick.
You can see there was a path on our left that we were on before that we came off. It's a dead end. It's a punishing segment of the game.
If you look on the map, you can if you're casually doing it, you can look and see where you're supposed to go. I have played like an earlier build of this game, so I think it's on the Hidden Palace, and they didn't let you use the map, like not use it, but move it around when you're in it. So this part would have just been such a nightmare to get past. So there's more minecarts. These host some more zombie fights. We're just going to go past this one. We're specifically going to run off it because if we jump, we will start a fight with them, and then that's really, really, really slow. Because we will start behind the minecart and have to get out. It's really, really annoying. I've done it once and never again. So we're finally at the end of the morgue section. We're just about to fight Killer Man. We're hopefully going to get him stuck in a loop so that he goes down really, really quickly.
Killerman's got a couple of different attacks he can throw out. We're hoping for a nice close range one that Kevin can dodge through using the iframes and pop some shots off.
Also, this is a lovely room. I love what he's done with the decor. So this is the attack that we kind of want, this kind of burst attack.
Kevin can dodge through it, fire off a shot, dodge through it, fire off a shot. As long as Jason moves forwards every now and then, he can try and get him stuck in a loop if Killer Man wants to play ball.
Oh man, he's not playing ball. Right, okay, that's better. There we go.
Thing is, with when Jason's dodging here, it also moves Kevin backwards a little bit, and that can be what kind of sets Killer Man off on changing his attack. Does seem to be doing okay just now.
The camera's like reacting to the big head behind me.
Yeah,
It was like closing in on Kevin's head.
There we go, that's Killer Man done.
So that's Killer Man down. The case ended unsolved because my partner was kidnapped by a zombie. Ooh.
You can, if you get lucky, get lock Killer Man just into a loop of doing that one attack, but it is kind of tricky to pull off, and that was not a bad set of attacks we got there.
I should have enough money. I've never really not had enough money to save York, but
I think I saw you having enough at the end of the level there.
375. Yeah, it's perfect. Right, cool. So now York's saved, which is really, really quick. Oops, I always forget that wee bit's there. So now we have all of our friends. We're going to get the good ending. Grab a couple of these just for safety. Sure. I shouldn't really need a lot of them, so no, we should be okay. Typically you can no buy in this level as well and just not get any items, but it's a bit riskier. So this level is it's a trip. It's like an episode of a show called Toy Hunter, which stars a guy called Cork.
Who bears a legally distinct resemblance to a certain Jones from Indiana.
And also Woody from from Toy Story.
So it's a very strange mashup.
So we're going to pick up the horror monitor, we're going to pick up a gun, as you do, and then we're going to go and grab a ticket to the show. But oh no, it's Dummy Man, he's back. Remember him? Oh my god, he's just... Right, there we go. You're York. Right, grab the ticket.
Don't remember to go back and grab that ticket, because you can forget to pick it up after that fight.
Right, I'm gonna watch we're gonna get this cutscene going for one specific reason. It's a big worm. Oh, this is not sitting well. So we're now Cork. We're no longer York.
Howdy, boys and girls.
There he
Isn't
is.
it fun to be me? Yeah, I'm having fun too. Now,
So he's going to tell us about the mechanics of this level, where a bunch of the stories, a bunch of the traps, are stories, so they're cutscenes and they're unskippable, unless you mark them. So we're going to mark all of them. We don't want to really see any of them, to be honest. They're really long and really slow. So we're going to jump over here. We're going to tag Marie. What's happening here is we've gotten home from an adventure.
yep.
And found out that our owner, Henry, is really, really sick. And in a cutscene over here to the left, he just dies in front of us. He like decomposes in front of us and dies.
It's horrifying.
It's really horrible. Now we're at his funeral, where Cork's partner, Sexy Doll, who was the woman with the arse earlier that we saw in the 4th level, gets buried with him. Oh, nearly.
So Jason is tagging some cutscenes here to avoid getting stuck in the story of this level.
So
This is where we'll be learning the pattern for this level. This is one of the trickier ones because there's not really that many distinct landmarks.
okay, it's not pattern C. So Cork's not happy, he's depressed. He goes on a wander, he leaves the house. Let me just see, is it pattern B? It's pattern B!
There we go.
Okay. He leaves the house and goes wandering out. He's gonna get visited by a ghostly apparition of Henry Sexy Doll and the boss of the level, which if you haven't ever seen it, I'm not going to spoil it. We'll get there when we get there. Whoa, where is it? There's a trap somewhere. Cork can see it.
Bit to the right a little bit.
Oh, there we go. It's like way over in the distance. Stay in the middle of the first fight, second.
Yep.
Tag the second player.
Yep. So we're gonna fight a couple of those evil monkey dudes again, and we're hopefully gonna just avoid getting hit at all.
Yeah, this can be a little bit rough because they do have a habit of
Doing this.
ganging up on you.
Yeah. But I'm not too concerned because we bought healing items. It's only really scary if you didn't buy healing items, to be honest. I think it's stay in the middle.
Yeah, stay in the
middle to avoid the traps. I don't know where they are is the problem, but that's fine. We've avoided all of them. We're good. We'll tag this.
This is another story cutscene Jason's avoiding.
Yep, and then there's one to the left as well where Cutie Marie berates you and calls you useless because you couldn't save Sexy Doll from, you know, the parent putting her in a coffin. R&D, right, I just need to be careful here because I messed this up in practice.
Yeah, there's a fight around this corner here that you can just kind of clip if you come around the corner a bit too
Just
tight.
a wee bit too fast, yeah. That's fine. And because we're Yorg, if we did get caught with it without marking, we would fall on the ground and just get shot a hell of a lot, so... run to pay phone and hug left. Got you. And I need to tag this because it's a trap. Okay, so now we're going back to some more story. So Cork is depressed. He wants to get drunk, so he goes to an egg bar to drink some milk.
That's how I always drown my sorrows.
When we go in here, there's 3 eggs on stage who sing a song to Cork and call him a loser. Cork gets really angry and we start a fight with them and shoot them, but we can skip it. And then this happens.
Yeah, Cork's having a pretty bad day.
Egg murderer! It's a crime! It's a crime!
Lock him up for 500 years.
No, he shall get a death penalty.
I hear ya! I hear ya! Yeah, kill the bum and send him to hell!
Roger that.
So we're going to jail now. Cork's been arrested, but luckily the jail's right here, so that's fine. We're going to skip a scene here. We're just going to run right by it. And now I need to tag some... Whoa! I very nearly ran into that. There's a trap right here that I nearly ran into. So we're going to jail. We're it's not happened yet in the story, but we are being put to death. We're on death row.
Time for a couple of donations?
Sure, yeah.
We have $20 from Sinra. I can't believe Killerman was Killerman the whole time. That goes to the Bad Plus ending. That's another $20 for the Bad Plus ending. So we're currently on $55 for the Bad Plus ending and still $80 for the UFO ending. So keep those donations in. Also, Polister donated $23. Let's get to 2,000 and let's bring Tails. Let's meet the Bring Tails incentive. So that goes to the Sonic 1 Forever Knuckles Bring Tails incentive. And if that one is met, yeah, we're gonna get faster and faster. So keep those donations in. Back to you.
Cork is on death row now.
Oh,
Should be 6 cell last one before main.
Yeah, sorry, I got really confused there because for some reason thought there was only 3 and there's not. That's on me. So we're now gonna meet up with our cellmate, if only because the walls are destroyed and we can just wander into his cell. But this is Potodon. He's like Buzz Lightyear, but like Arnold Schwarzenegger robot. It's really weird. He's gonna tell us that it's great that you know we're on death row because that's how you get to hell. That's where Sexy Doll is. He's a good friend. But he's running out of gas, so we need to get gas for him. By talking to this guy, taking some gasoline off of him, and then giving him the gas. And then after we give Potadon the gas, we're going to go to the gallows, where that's the method of execution that Cork's going to get. And then there's going to be a cutscene that we won't see because we're marking and skipping, where Potadon saves him, stops it from happening. And Cork's like, what the hell, man? What's that all about? And then I'm telling you this now because like it's gonna happen in like the space of like 3 minutes or something. He then says, well, actually, I read the toy Bible. I got the toy Bible out, and it turns out that just takes you to regular hell. Sexy Doll is in toy hell, and you get there by being buried with a kid. It's like, wow, this is really, really grim. Yep. So that's what's happening now. We're going to run through a sewer section. And I mentioned earlier, I've forgotten to spin back round to it, but there's 3 categories to this game. There's a true ending as well as good and bad, which makes you wait for 15 minutes. You can't do anything about it to actually do it, because it's a new game plus kind of thing, where you have to not save any of your friends. But in order to not save Kevin in the first level, you have to wait 15 minutes in the maze area so that he dies, and then you can just continue on with the rest of the game. It's brutal. Absolutely brutal. So you probably won't see that at a marathon, because who's going to sit for 15 minutes while nothing happens? Unless somebody starts doing like another speed run while it's going on, but you never know. Anyway, Potadon's running out of gas again, so we've taken his chip so that when we do find a kid that's sick enough, this is really grim, sick enough, who has a Potadon, we can put the chip in so that we can get our friend back and we can talk to him. So what we're doing now is we're finding a kid. Turns out he's not sick, he's very, very healthy. So Cork and Potadon are gonna, well, you know, it's best not saying. There's a heavenly staircase. You can put 2 and 2 together.
Yeah, this level certainly starts going off the rails very quickly and never corrects itself.
No. So now we are at another funeral. I don't mind that that's jumped away. I'll get it later. Thank you. I don't want it back on. I was taking it off. So, if you know anything about this game, you know about this boss. And I know there's a Sonic block earlier this morning. There's one tomorrow. It's time for the mini Sonic block. There he is. It's your boy. And for good measure, they're Sexy Doll. Right, so he doesn't take any damage. We actually have to shoot him to get the rings out.
I mean, he is Sonic after all.
He is Sonic after all. He spin dashes. He does the little finger waggle thing that Sonic used to do in the 90s. Remember that? He may not do it. Like, it's random, so...
Yeah, we're hoping for as few spin dashes as possible.
He's done it.
There we go.
He's behaving.
Yeah.
So, we can shoot him if he's doing any attacks. Then he won't get any rings ejected out of him, which is a weird sentence to say. This boss isn't really that difficult. The worst part of it is just trying to be optimal with the rings, which I am not. I really need to practice this whole bit.
Yeah, they kind of go off in all directions. Each ring takes about 4 shots each. And towards the end of the fight, when he is running out of rings, you can quite easily lose track of where they go.
Oh no!
Seems to be playing quite well today.
He's being okay. Don't know if I'm getting that ring. Nah. Don't spin dash behind me. Good.
And this should...
And he's dead.
Yes.
Nice. Cool. We're now at the very end of the run. We only have one more thing to do, because after this level we have to fight. It's not the final boss, because there is a proper final boss that we're not going to see today. but we basically get a choice of 3 bosses. We get the spider boss that we didn't fight in level 3. We get an enemy from Blue Stinger, which is the game that the studio made before Illbleed. And we're not fighting him, but he's one of my favourite things in the game. It's like a headless Ken doll with blades, and his name is Oh No Man.
It's weirder than it sounds somehow.
I'll show him off. So I'm going to pick up, I don't think I'll need it, but I'm going to pick up this Scapegoat Marie. Basically it's an extra life, so if I die, it's not game over. Pick up a machine gun. Start a cutscene with Big Michael Reynolds. He's that kind of shadow up the top there. He's not very visible. So there's Cashman, the Spider-Man. There's Bull Stinger. That's who we will be fighting. But I just wanted to just show him off. Like, oh no, man! What a guy! So we're gonna go up to Bull Stinger. He's very, very easy, to be honest. Once you know how to beat him, it's basically just try to time dodges. The worst thing you can do is jump, like before you can react to it. Like I said, there's a wee bit of like input delay with this game, so it can sometimes get you. Oh, I thought it got me there.
Yeah, jump comes out very quickly with very little warning.
Yeah, he's got like 2 jumps. One, like he does a kind of bend the knee kind of thing to let you know it's coming, and sometimes he just does it. Anyway, after this guy's health bar is 0 and the screen fades to black, that is time. Oh, damn, he got me. Yep. Nice. Not long now. Oh. Sometimes he does a little stagger, and sometimes I think he's about to hit me when he does it, so I panic a wee bit. But that's it. That's Bull Stinger dead. Once it goes to black, that's the game. And time. So that was Illbleed. I hope you enjoyed it. There'll never be a game like it again, I don't think. There'll never be a sequel. There'll be a remake. This is it. It's stuck on the Dreamcast. It's one of my favourites, and I hope you all enjoyed it too. There is a cutscene after the credits, but they're unskippable, and the credits take like 3 minutes, so you're probably not going to get to see it right now. But yeah, hope you all enjoyed. Thanks for having me, guys.
Thank you so much, Jason, with that interesting run. a lot of blood and nudity.
Well,
at the
it
end.
is called Illbleed, to be fair. So
Yeah. So yeah, please come back again at UKSG Red 2024 for more of this game. I do like it.
I'll play
First
it again
time I
for
see
you. We'll do true ending. I'll do something for 15 minutes. I don't know what, but we'll figure it out.
Okay, cool. Thank you so much. Next is coming up CBK with Kirby's Dreamland. And yeah, it's on. I think it's gonna play on the Game Boy. So do not switch any channel. Do not go away. Please stick around. We'll be right back. Also, not mentioned, hardly. This is my final shift, so I'm gonna take off. Gonna get some hours of sleep. After that, I'm going to be back for Silent Hill. So yeah, we still need that bad plus ending. If you want to stick around with that, we only need like $30, give or take, if you want more Silent Hill.